Check it. Hey, yo, what is up? You are back for another video of DataZero. In this video, we're looking at AMC, GME, SPY, also other stocks involved with the overall stock market, and we also look at crypto as well. This is your weekly outlook and prediction for stocks and crypto. Basically, where we go over the stock and crypto market as a whole, and we also look at the meme stocks individually and give you guys a prediction of where I think things are headed based off the charts, the facts, and the data. This video is not financial advice and should not be taken as such, but we do give you everything you need to know as a trader and investor. Without wasting any more of your precious time, again, this is a longer video, so we're gonna hop right into it. Let's go and hop in the charts, the facts, the data. Let's go.
All right, guys, what is up? You are back for another video with DataZero. In this video, we're looking at the weekly outlook and prediction. We're going to be looking at the overall stock and crypto market as a whole and give you guys the weekly outlook and prediction on what I expect based off the charts and facts and data. This video is not financial advice and should not be taken as such. Please do your own research and due diligence before buying any stock or crypto asset. With that being said, let's go and hop in the charts, the facts, the data, and show you guys exactly what we have going on for the trading week of the 8th and to the 12th. This is the weekly outlook and prediction for stocks, crypto, and the meme stocks. Let's go ahead and hop right into this week's action. So we're going to be starting off with the crypto market, guys. We have an exciting week coming up. A lot of opportunity, of course, as the market always provides opportunity. So we will be looking to exploit that and make our gains this week and continuing our trades. So as you guys can see, we're going to be looking at Bitcoin first and foremost. Bitcoin here on the 2-hour time frame. Bullish momentum to the upside, bullish MACD. Here on the 4-hour time frame, bullish momentum to the upside, bullish MACD. And also Bitcoin in the macro aspect of things, making a bullish pennant. Ladies and gentlemen, this could see Bitcoin retesting that $73,000 high and breaking it, possibly taking us to $75,000, maybe even $80,000 price target. If we do see BTC, and this is something that you need to watch as a Bitcoin holder, if we see Bitcoin break above the key level of 70,000, so if we break above 70,000 and use that level as support, so we need to break above 70,000, 9,200, around that range, and use that range as support. If we bounce off of those levels, you're going to see a big move to the upside. If you want to be really careful and sure of everything, use $70,000 as your price confirmation level. So if we see a break above $70,000, using that level as support and then pushing to the upside, you're going to see a big move to the upside for BTC. So we want to see price break above the sloping resistance here. We want to see that move to the upside towards that $70,000 range, and we want to start moving to the upside. That way we can get to our $75,000, maybe even $80,000 price target. This setup right here is perfect for BTC to retest 73,800, which is the current all-time high for BTC. I do think we are about to go higher on Bitcoin, in my personal opinion. Again, this could break down, but what I'm seeing right here is a lot of bullish momentum to the upside. It did look like BTC was slowly losing momentum at first, but it came back strong. It is now consolidating, letting RSI cool down, which we did need to see, so we can make another move to the upside. RSI is still extremely high on the weekly time frames. We cannot get that twisted, but as you guys can see, it did cool down. It's not in those extremely overbought levels. It is still overbought, but it is not extremely overbought, so we did cool down for another possible pop to the upside. Now, does that mean we are going to maintain and stabilize at those prices? Probably not. We'll probably see a pop to the upside and a pullback. So if you are looking at holding or possibly taking profit, you might want to do that. Now, on the weekly time frame, since we are in a bull run, you want to look at the weekly time frame. You want to be holding as long as possible, but you don't want to be greedy. So if you're up a massive amount of profit, you should take some risk off of the table. If you're just now entering the market, you might be able to see a pop to the upside, but you always want to be able to take that profit and secure that bag. So make sure you are looking at the weekly time frame, looking to see if momentum's still good, which it does look like. MACD is starting to curl to the downside, which is something we want to take account of. It could have another second wave to the upside, so we have to keep track of these things, and we will be looking at this here on the channel. So if you are holding crypto, you might want to press subscribe, because this is the place to be to get accurate calls for BTC, as we did call this move all the way from $15,000 all the way up after we broke out of this massive falling wedge, and we did call for the price target of $75,000 to $80,000, and that is what we're looking for here on the channel. So go ahead and press like and subscribe. So this is what we're looking at for BTC. I'm thinking we could see this move probably around Monday or Tuesday. Normally Bitcoin is moving more and more with the Bitcoin ETF, and the lead Bitcoin ETF is the BlackRock ETF. BlackRock ETF also setting up for a potential move. As you guys can see, BlackRock ETF pushing to the upside, consolidating, and having another pop to the upside could definitely drive, not definitely, it will drive Bitcoin's prices higher. And I think we're seeing a lot of this momentum off of this ETF, as it is a spot ETF, which means they have to buy Bitcoin to supply the ETFs. And there's even rumors that they are running out of Bitcoin and they need to buy more because of the demand that these things are creating. So we are seeing a lot of demand in this. People are underestimating it, I do think. And if we have another pop to the upside, that could definitely drive Bitcoin prices much, much higher. So this is what we're looking at for BTC. We are going to be watching the ETF as well, especially the BlackRock ETF IBIT. It does look like it's consolidating after a nice move up, and it looks like it's about to make another move to the upside. And on the bigger time frames, there's not much data here, but on the bigger time frames, the RSI has cooled down, and this actually has a lot more room to run. Also, MACD is red, so it could go into a green MACD and get a lot of momentum, and that could really drive Bitcoin prices up. Again, I'm not a moon boy type channel. I'm not saying 100,000 price target, but I do think $75,000, $80,000 is on the cards for Bitcoin. So that's what we're looking at for the overall crypto market. I do think we're going to be seeing a lot more bullishness to the upside, in my personal opinion, based off everything I'm seeing. We also have the catalyst of the halving as well, which is huge, and we also never had the ETFs and the halving all in play at once, so this could be absolutely epic. We're also seeing people rotate into gold and silver as well, and we know people are starting to look at Bitcoin a lot more instead of gold. They're looking at Bitcoin a lot more as the new gold, so that could possibly see Bitcoin prices rising as well as commodity prices start to rise. So this is what we're looking at for the overall crypto market. Let's go ahead and hop into the stock market. We're also going to be looking at the crypto bubbles as well here over the weekend. Lots of gains in the altcoin world. Some new coins coming up like Venom and ENA. Some of these newer coins popping up. You want to be very careful if you're hopping in and out of new coins. You want to look at tokenomics. You want to look at fundamentals. Does this coin serve a purpose? Does this coin do something? And you also want to look at how many coins are in circulation. You want to look at, is there a burn rate? Is there coins being subtracted from the supply? These are the things you want to look at when picking your crypto projects. Some of my favorite projects are things like Cardano, Ethereum, Atom, Polygon. These are just some of them off the top that I do personally hold myself. Crypto gains have been absolutely astonishing over the year. Altcoins absolutely going to take off, especially when altcoin season starts. Altcoin season will start when Bitcoin dominance starts to go down. So once you see Bitcoin dominance start to go down, that's when you're going to see your favorite altcoins really start to pop off. Bitcoin dominance still remaining high. So we are not seeing that altcoin season. Basically, Bitcoin starts to rally first, then it kind of starts to range and then fade, and then altcoins take off after that because the money rolls into Bitcoin, and then that money from Bitcoin rolls into altcoins. Now let's go ahead and move into the overall stock market and show you guys what we're going on for SPY and give you guys the weekly candle print prediction as well as the weekly outlook and prediction. As far as data sets dropping, what we have going on for SPY, we're going to go ahead and hop right into that. So we do have core inflation. This is going to be absolutely huge. And we have FOMC this week as well, guys. So we have core inflation and FOMC. We also have PPI dropping as well, and then Michigan consumer sentiment on Friday. The biggest things are going to be PPI, and then even bigger is going to be FOMC, and then of course these inflation rate drops. So we want to see if inflation is actually dropping. As far as what we've seen from the last updates, guys, it has basically remained elevated, staying the same or slightly going higher. Now we all know that food and energy, which is excluded from these ratings, which is absolutely insane, the things that affect people the most, are absolutely skyrocketing, okay? those types of inflations we're seeing at the grocery store, at the pump, are absolutely insane. So we know inflation is remaining elevated. Okay, so inflation's not going away. Basically, the Fed, if you don't know what's going on, this has been a saga, but the Fed is not doing what they need to do, in my personal opinion. A lot of people may trust the Fed. They may think that they have control over this, but what I'm seeing is they have no control over this. They're saying it's a soft landing. It's not even inflation back down to 2%. I feel like the Fed is either going to back down and say that 2% is not their target and try to target 3% and stay. That basically says that inflation is going to remain elevated, and this is the new normal. That's what I feel like they might end up trying to do. They did not raise rates high enough. They needed to do like Volcker did back in the 70s, where he jacked rates up to bring inflation down. We needed rates to be higher than the inflation level. So if we had inflation of 8% or 5% back what we were dealing with back in 2023, we needed to see those rates be as high equally, not this 5.5% that we're seeing. So we needed rates to be much, much higher, but they didn't want to cause that type of shock to the system. So we're still seeing a lot of excess liquidity washed around. We're still seeing inflation very, very elevated. And this is because the Fed did not take proper, adequate action, in my personal opinion. So we want to see if these inflation numbers do come down. It looks like they're probably going to be remaining the same. The forecast looks like it's actually remaining pretty much the same as the last numbers. So basically remain elevated and staying the same. That is not going to be good for the market. The market really wants to see these numbers come down. If these numbers remain elevated, that means rates have to stay higher for longer. That's not what the market wants to hear. The market wants to hear more rate cuts. Rates get cut sooner. So this could be a shock to the market, especially seeing if inflation doesn't come down. So we want to be watching those numbers. As far as what we are looking at SPY, again, I believe we're in an overall bubble. We're seeing the most gains in these overall, basically they call it the Magnificent Seven, blue chip stocks, whatever you want to call it. Apple, Amazon, Google, Nvidia, all of those names that you hear about every day. Microsoft, those are the big winners. Now, we did see Meta push up, and that did help the market sustain. We've seen Meta break out of this bullish pennant right here. Same thing that kind of Bitcoin is in, that we're expecting on Bitcoin, where basically Bitcoin ran up, made a top, made a bullish pennant where it can make another high. Basically, Meta could push up a little bit higher, and that would help the market. But we're seeing main stocks like Nvidia make a possible double top, and momentum is definitely shifting. You can see here on the alligator that the alligator is fully curled to the downside. Okay, so that's showing momentum is definitely changed. This is on the daily time frame. You want to pay attention to that. Also here on the daily MACD, as you guys can see, red MACD, deep red MACD. This is showing that momentum has changed. Nvidia is going to start coming down. You can see here, even on the weekly time frame, MACD starting to curl to the downside, and you can see that selling pressure starting to come in. A lot of big whales took profit here on this first drop. That's why we had this first drop. A lot of big whales took profit. Then we made this kind of push back up to all-time highs. Again, got a double top, and we got rejected from that. A lot more people started taking profit. And basically, this is a double top on Nvidia as of right now. So if Nvidia starts losing the level of like 850, you're going to see a major drop for Nvidia. And Nvidia is one of these stocks that has been built on air as well. As you can see, multiple gap fills to the downside. All of these turquoise lines that you see here are gaps in the market. These gaps are going to get filled. There's a ton of gap fills here on Nvidia. These gaps are 100% get filled. So we are going to see Nvidia come back down to these lower regions and retest these lows. And it looks like Nvidia is due for a pullback based off of RSI. So that is going to be bringing the market down with it. Again, basically, we've been seeing most gains in tech stocks and things like that. So if you look at the NASDAQ, you can see the clues in the NASDAQ as well. If you look at what's going on here in NASDAQ, you can see that the weekly MACD is almost curled red. It is completely curled down on its green level. It could get a second wave, but it doesn't look like that's going to be happening. If we go ahead and look on the daily time frame, and the NASDAQ is going to be the one leading spot. If you look on the daily time frame, you guys can see we have bearish divergence. Price continually drifting up while RSI is drifting down. I told everybody this is going to lead into a steeper correction. What is going to happen is price is going to drift up because of that divergence. That's what happens with divergences. It drifts in that direction. Then it's going to start to fade out, and that's going to lead into a deeper correction. I gave you guys the example of Bitcoin on the weekly time frame. This would have saved you a ton of money because everybody was saying Bitcoin to 100K back here. If you look at what happened on Bitcoin, Bitcoin had price rallying to the upside while RSI was rallying to the downside. That led into a rounding out and then a steeper correction to the downside. This is exactly what's going to happen for NASDAQ and SPY. We can see here on the daily time frame that both NASDAQ and SPY have bearish divergence. If you look here on NASDAQ, you have price trending up while RSI is trending down. And if you look here on SPY, you have price trending up while RSI is trending down. These are going to lead into steeper corrections. It looks like the market is topping out and rounding out. So I do think we are going to be seeing a move down for SPY and as well NASDAQ. You can see daily MACD also red and momentum starting to change. I think that the market is topping out. What I think is going to happen though is SPY is going to try to make a push all the way up to like 523.50. It's probably going to reject from that level. It might even peak over just to get the bulls extra excited and get in a lot of liquidity. Again, that's something that we've seen here because we did call this move to the downside here. Right here on the video. If you go ahead and check out the videos and the live streams last week, we talked about how we called this massive move to the downside, really showing you guys how weak the market actually is when it's not being pumped up and when everything starts to hit the fan, when all of those key stocks like Nvidia, Apple, Microsoft all start to come down, we're going to start seeing these problems. And Apple as well has been in a major downtrend. Also, it's set up for a nasty double top here on the bigger time frames. You can see top number 1, top number 2. We are in this falling wedge potentially, which would take you down to the downside to fill these gaps, which these gaps are going to get filled. Apple looks like it's going to be moving to the downside as it can't get above this critical support and resistance of 173. So it looks like we're going to be moving down on Apple. That's going to bring the market with it. It looks like Nvidia is going to be moving down. Meta might start topping out, especially if that momentum starts to fade when the rest of the market starts to fade out. We're seeing stocks like Tesla absolutely dump as well. This is going to be affecting the market, and I do think we're going to be seeing pullback. Microsoft, Google, and Amazon are still holding up pretty well, but if we do see those start to roll over, it's going to be absolutely chaos, especially here in the indices for SPY and NASDAQ. I think SPY is going to be seeing a red week in my personal opinion. I think what SPY is going to be doing is again trying to push up and then creating a little bit of a rug pull. Same thing we've seen back here where SPY pushed up, got all of the bulls excited, slightly pushed above that key level of 523 and then absolutely rejected to the downside. We did not get fooled here on the channel. That's when you want to press like and subscribe. We absolutely nailed this move. I explained how we were going to make a rising wedge / bear flag after we had this pullback from that 525 level. I'm the one who said that we would see an overall downtrend. As you guys can see, we are seeing an overall downtrend from that 525 level. And I also said in my last week videos that I thought that would be the peak. I do think we could see possibly another retest of that, but I don't think we're going to break it. Most likely what we're going to see is a push to 523.50 and reject from that level in my personal opinion. Once we reject from that level, we're going to start moving to the downside rapidly, and this could lead into an overall head and shoulders type pattern or an overall topping pattern, especially with not being able to break this level. That'd be top number 1, top number 2, and if we came up again, top number 3 for an absolute triple top move to the downside. And since we rose into that triple top, that could get ugly very, very quickly, as well as all of the gap fills to the downside that we do have for SPY. So it could get ugly very, very quickly. Again, this day was absolutely insane. If you were on the live streams watching this with us and the family, it was absolutely insane watching SPY start to bleed. Everybody thought it was going to catch its footing. It just kept going, just kept going, just kept bleeding. That shows you how quickly this thing can really start to roll over and how far things can really go down, especially since the market has done nothing but go straight up. Normally what happens in history when the market goes straight up, you normally see it go straight down. What happened here when the market went straight up? It had a big correction. What happened here when the market went straight up? It had a big correction. We are now having a massive, massive rally. We could see a major correction based off the charts, the facts, and the data. So guys, I do think we're going to be seeing a red week on SPY. I do think we're going to be seeing a red week on SPY, and I am looking at SPY printing a red week, and this is what we're looking at for the overall stock market and the key stocks. All right, guys, this is coming from post-editing. I just wanted to add this in here. It really ties in the video, but we're starting to see articles proving our narrative as well. The market may have finally hit a record, but it could be a real problem. Again, normally in history, when we see the market go straight up, we see it come straight down. We see the market go straight up, we come straight down. We see those RSI levels get this high, we have a correction. We also have the bearish divergence as well. All of the technicals are saying this, and now we have articles coming out like this, because if inflation is staying high, it is not good for the market, and it looks like the returns could be modest. Basically what this article is saying, and it's saying that this record high that the SP 500 and NASDAQ are having could be leading to a bigger reckoning, and that's basically what this article is saying. So again, we're having articles come out about the top stocks like Nvidia, seeing these things start to come down, and they are making some pretty good points here. Again, I'm not going to read over the entire article, but you guys can, if you are welcome to, you guys can pause the screen. But this is articles coming out backing up the narrative that we could be seeing a bigger problem, and the market has been artificially pumped up, in my personal opinion, and we are in a bubble. We are seeing insiders take lots and lots of profit, so we want to be watching this, moving like smart money. Again, when others are greedy, be fearful. When others are fearful, be greedy. The market is in greed right now. So I just wanted to edit that in there and give you guys this information as well. Now let's go ahead and move into the meme stocks, AMC and GME, show you guys what's going on there and give you guys the charts, facts, and technicals for those stocks. As you guys can see, AMC and GME possibly making a double bottom. Okay, we're possibly making a double bottom on AMC and GME. Bottom would be like this 293 for AMC, and then bottom for GME would be about this 1090 $11 region. You guys can see that we came down here, bounced, and got a good bounce to the upside, and we did the same thing here, getting a good bounce back to the upside. It looks like that is going to be continuing to the upside. It looks like GME is going to be able to bottom off of these levels and get a green week. GME is literally a profitable company. It's absolutely insane that it dumped the way it did after earnings. If you are not aware of what goes on with AMC and GME, they're running on algorithms that are similar to each other. Also, these stocks are highly manipulated, but since they are manipulated, they are prone to potential short squeezes and pops to the upside. We can see that GME, and these can be very profitable, and you can utilize these to also stack bigger long-term positions for free using house money. As you guys can see, GME made a massive pump here, but that is not the only massive pumps it has had. It has had massive rallies even since it's been in this overall downtrend, so these can be utilized. Now, I do think this overall downtrend is set to end for GME stock and AMC stock. We are looking at the monthly MACD for these types of things to see when it curls up back to the green side. We're also looking at the weekly MACD as well. It looks like these stocks are possibly trying to make a bottom, but these stocks did get attacked very heavily, so we want to be watching very closely. We've been watching momentum start to build, possibly starting to get momentum to pop back to the upside. We've been watching the bullish momentum try to build, but again, they keep trying to knock these stocks down using these short shares and other methods to try to manipulate these stocks. So we really want to see GME get back above that $11.83 level. If we do, we could see a decent pop back to the upside. You also want to be watching liquidity with these stocks. As you guys can see, liquidity is very important. You want to be seeing cost to borrow go up. When cost to borrow has a sudden rise or pop to the upside, that could be indicative of price popping to the upside as well. We're going to be watching that very closely here on the channel. I do think we will be able to see a green week for GME GME, and we're going to be talking about the potential movements here on AMC as well, as cost of borrow is starting to rise. But I do think we'll be able to see a green week on GME as we are making this potential double bottom, and that could lead us back to the upside in a big way, especially with these gap fills that we have here on GME. As you guys can see, we had a big drop to the downside after earnings. We have this double bottom here, this double bottom here, and we have a gap fill to the upside here. So it looks like we could make a decent pop back to the upside, especially if we can get that double bottom to really start to form. Gap fill is here on the daily time frame, so that will absolutely get filled. Gap fills at 1371 all the way to 1474, almost a dollar gap fill. That gap will 100% get filled. Now, we still have a lot of bearish momentum to the downside, so if we do get a bounce, don't expect to go crazy unless we break above that $11.85, $12 range. If we can break above that and start using those levels as support, we could see a decent bounce, and we do want to see that bearish momentum really start to shift. Here on the smaller time frames, that's what you're looking at after seeing a big move down to see if you could get a recovery. It does look like that will be the case. It looks like we'll be able to get that double bottom and break above those key levels of support and resistance that we're looking at here for GME stock. That way we can get back to the upside and start filling that gap. If you are in this stock, and again, this is not financial advice, you want to be buying low and selling high. So when you do see something get pushed down, even if you are entering it now, you could buy low and sell high. You want to be looking for things like the RSI being oversold on the bigger time frames. And if you go ahead and look at the bigger time frames, RSI is definitely getting oversold. If we go ahead and look at the daily time frame, RSI is all the way down at 33. On the 4-hour time frame, RSI is at 36, and you guys can see we're entering those oversold levels, and we're looking to get a bounce as buyers to begin to step in because we are in that oversold territory. So I do think GME is going to be able to get a recovery. I think GME would probably be the one to lead AMC up as well, so we want to be watching GME as well. GME has a little bit less liquidity than AMC right now. Also, the short interest is a lot higher, so GME is a definite problem, especially being a profitable company, so they can't go ahead and spin false narratives out to try to persuade people that are uneducated or don't know exactly what's going on with these two particular meme stocks. So that's what I'm looking at for GME. I do think we will be able to get a green week. We want to break above $11.85, $12. That way we can see a decent pop to the upside to get that gap fill. We're going to be watching it very, very closely here on the live stream to make sure we are going to see that and not move back down and possibly retest this 1090 low, and we will be watching that very, very closely on the live stream. If we are moving to the downside, you would be retesting that 1090, 1098 low, so we would be looking at that level for support. Now let's go ahead and move into AMC, showing you guys what's going on for AMC stock. If you go ahead and look at what's going on for AMC stock, we're seeing momentum start to build as RSI is curling up. MACD is going green on the 4-hour time frame. We did have a big push down. If you don't know why, they had an 8K filing. Now, isn't it crazy that they attacked AMC and GME at the same time as the market is starting to show signs of weakness? Now, again, this could be tinfoil hat, this could be speculation, but if you follow this play, you guys know my stance and the narrative here. When the market starts to pull back, when the liquidity starts going out, and when stuff hits the fan, this is when the meme stocks can really start to shine. We have seen multiple aspects and multiple times where AMC and GME absolutely start to rally, especially when the market starts to show those signs. It is crazy that they attacked AMC with the 8K filing and GME with the earnings attack after they dumped all of them short shares into low liquidity after hours, pushing it to the downside. Over 400,000 short shares dumped in after hours in alone that day when they were pushing it to the downside, and they've been trying to get short shares this whole entire time. If you guys are watching, 950,000 short shares for AMC available to borrow, 30,000 for GME right now. But if you look, they've been absolutely stacking up and using those shares repeatedly throughout the past couple of weeks. So they are trying to push both of these stocks down. Something you need to be aware of for AMC is that 950,000 short shares. That could be changing by Monday. They could have more, they could have less, as they use some in pre-market. I will be giving you guys the numbers when the market opens on the live stream, so tune into the live stream 9:15, 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Tune into the channel. I tune I stream while the market is open to about 4 p.m. If you go ahead and look at AMC, something similar is going on with a possible double bottom. You have that bottom off that $2.90 region, and then you have another bottom off that $2.90 region. So it looks like we're going to be getting a pop to the upside, as we did have this green candle. And after hours, with the shares that they have available to borrow, I wouldn't be surprised if we did have to do one more retest to make a triple bottom of that $2.90 level. So I do think we will be moving back to the downside and retesting that level here on Monday. If you see AMC break above $3.05, that could be the signal to push us to that 315. 315 is like the setup for $12 for GameStop. If we can break above 315, that's when we could see a decent pop to the upside for AMC stock. So the level that you really want to be watching as an AMC holder is $3.15. If we can break above $3.15, then we could see a decent move to the upside. Same type of setup for GameStop. Gap fill to the upside all the way at $4. And if you go ahead and look at that, that could be an absolute opportunity for a trade. As you guys can see, that would be a 68% gain. Or I'm sorry, I do apologize. That would be a 36% gain. A 36% gain if you were able to buy down here at the lows and it ran up to fill that gap. And that is only one gap of many here on AMC stock, as there are multiple gap fills to the upside for AMC stock, which would create absolutely insane gains. If it ran up to the gap fill of $11, which is not even an insane price target. There's actually analysts with the price targets to about $5 to $8 for AMC stock. That would be a 300% gain. Ladies and gentlemen, you want to be buying low and selling high. Again, this is not financial advice. AMC is a very, very manipulated stock, so it is not for the faint of heart. It is for people that want to be looking at either long-term or short-term in and out plays. Again, this is not for the faint of heart, but there's opportunity in every single area of the stock market, and especially in these highly manipulated stocks, because they are prone to rapid moves to the upside. Because when you push something down like a stock, it's like a spring. It gets compressed. It's going to want to pop back to the upside. So when you artificially push it down, it's going to want to artificially back run to the upside the same. Also, you do have mechanics like short interest, short squeezes, gamma ramps that cause these massive pumps to the upside as well. Again, you'll see articles like, why are the meme stocks rallying and stuff like that. It's really because of the manipulation. If you don't know what's going on, people watching my channel, I assume you do. But if you don't know what's going on, they push it down, and then these stocks get these rallies out of nowhere, these massive 150% rallies out of nowhere because of the manipulation. And then they'll put out an article saying it's some random thing, or meme investors are back, or blah, blah, blah. It is all a big game. The market is corrupt. SPY has been pumped to the upside. AMC and GME have been pushed down. Due to the plumbing of the stock market, AMC and GME would absolutely rally if the market started to puke, in my personal opinion. Another thing that would absolutely pump is SQQQ, as it does move inverse of NASDAQ, and it does look like SQQQ is gaining bullish momentum. As you guys can see, if it breaks above that 1084 level, watch out on SQQQ. Also, a massive falling wedge with a pop to the upside. NASDAQ in a massive rising wedge, which normally break to the downside. This is what we're looking at for the overall market, and something as a potential trade as well. But this is pretty much everything I have for you guys for AMC. We are looking to break above, again, the levels of 305. 305 is a similar setup to GME. If we broke above 305 and use that as support, we can move to 315. 315 is the major level, though, because that would form the double bottom where we could have a pop to the upside all the way up to like 350. $4 in my personal opinion. I don't think we're going to be going lower than $2.90 in my personal opinion, based off of what I'm seeing here. $2.90 would be the next level of support if we did move to the downside. It looks like we're flattening out and we're starting to find a bottom. If something crazy came, like a 8K filing, then yes, we would move lower. But other than that, I don't think we're moving lower. I think we're actually bottoming out, and we're probably going to have a green week on AMC stock. So green week on AMC stock, green week on GME, but I do think we're going to be seeing a red week on SPY. Again, these stocks can move inverse of the market. They have moved inverse of the market. So if that sounds crazy to you, it is what it is. But we have seen multiple examples of that where I've called these types of calls, and that is exactly what's happened. So this is your weekly outlook and prediction. I know it was a bit of a longer video, but if you managed to watch to the end, I truly appreciate you. If you just watch the stocks that you want to know about, that's absolutely fine. If you just watch crypto because that's what you want to know about, that's absolutely fine. But I'd appreciate it if you watch the entire video to get all of the context and information inside of it. Everything you need to know as a trader and investor. Press like and subscribe for more information like this. And as always, y'all, have fun, stay safe, make money.
Alright guys, that was the video. If you found it informative, go ahead and drop a like and press subscribe for more content like this. This was the weekly outlook and prediction. I appreciate you if you watch to the end of this video a whole half hour plus. So if you watch all of it, you're definitely putting in your 10,000 hours trying to master your craft, and you need to be doing that because this is a zero-sum game. There's only winners and there's only losers when it comes to trading. Everybody don't get a trophy in this one. Alright guys, so that was the video. Again, the Discord is on sale right now for $75. Normal price is $150. If you want to get involved with that, exclusive trades, exclusive community, exclusive technical analysis, and my alerts. So I put out alerts at least once a week. If you want to get those alerts and they can go right to your phone, if you set up like that, you guys will have the access to the best market support group. Go ahead and hit me up on my email, DataZeroOfficial5. It's linked in the description of this video, or you can hit me up on my Instagram. I prefer email, but you can hit me on my Instagram. All of that information is down below. Payment is made by Cash App or PayPal. Once you make payment, I'm gonna send you the link to get in. It's as easy as that. Just hit me up on my email, say, hey, Data, I want to join the Discord, and I'm gonna get back to you with that payment information, a little bit of information about the Discord. And once you send payment, I'll let you in. $75 right now for a one-time fee for a lifetime entry. Go ahead and hit me up before the sale ends. The sale is for this month only. And I appreciate you if you watch the end of this video to see this message. As always, y'all, have fun, stay safe, make money. Peace out.